There's a new round of tech layoffs. Amazon will lay off 18,000 workers.
Today, we're going to be discussing a topic that's been on the minds of many in the tech industry, and that's the potential collapse of big tech companies.
Specifically, you mentioned 1.5 million full-time and part-time workers. Look at that chart. You can see
from monopolistic practices to lack of regulation, there are a number of factors that are contributing to the looming crisis in the tech industry. In this video, we're going to take a deep dive into the reasons behind the potential implosion of big tech, the impact it could have on the global economy, and what can be done to prevent it. One of the main reasons for the potential collapse of big tech is the monopolistic practices that many of these companies engage in. Many big tech companies have grown to dominate their respective markets, making it difficult for smaller companies to compete. This can lead to a lack of innovation and a lack of choice for consumers. Additionally, these companies often use their market dominance to engage in anti-competitive practices, such as acquiring potential competitors or using their resources to undercut smaller companies. Another reason for the potential collapse of big tech is the lack of regulation. Many big tech companies have grown so large and powerful that they have begun to operate outside of the traditional bounds of regulation. They have vast amounts of data on consumers and often use it for targeted advertising and other purposes. This has raised concerns about privacy, data security, and abuse of power. Additionally, the current regulations have not kept pace with the rapid growth of these companies and are not able to effectively control their activities. This lack of regulation has the potential to lead to a lack of accountability and the abuse of power. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a significant impact on the tech industry. On one hand, the pandemic has accelerated the shift to digital technologies and online services as people have been forced to work, learn, and shop from home. This has led to an increase in demand for products and services offered by big tech companies such as Zoom, Google, and Amazon. As a result, these companies have seen their revenues and profits soar during the pandemic. However, the pandemic has also highlighted the vulnerabilities and the weaknesses of the tech industry. The pandemic has exposed the fragility of supply chains and the dependency of many industries on a few big tech companies. The pandemic has also highlighted the role of big tech companies in the spread of misinformation and the erosion of privacy and civil liberties. The pandemic has also accelerated the trend of governments around the world to scrutinize and regulate big tech companies. All these factors together could lead to the potential collapse of big tech as public sentiment and government regulations shift against them. Amazon have seen a significant decrease in revenue and a large number of staff layoffs. Amazon, for example, has seen a decline in demand for its retail products and services as a result of the economic downturn caused by the pandemic and has been forced to lay off thousands of employees. Lyft, a ride-sharing company, has also been hit hard by the pandemic as people have been staying at home and avoiding public transportation. The company has seen a significant decrease in demand for its services and has been forced to lay off thousands of employees. WeWork, a co-working company, has also been hit hard by the pandemic as people have been working from home and avoiding shared spaces. The company has seen a significant decrease in demand for its services and has been forced to lay off thousands of employees. A big tech collapse, specifically with companies such as Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, would have significant consequences for the economy and society as a whole. One of the most immediate effects would be job loss. These companies employ thousands of people, and a collapse could lead to a significant loss of jobs and an increase in unemployment. Many of these jobs are highly skilled and well-paying, and their loss would have a ripple effect throughout the economy, as people with less money to spend would cut back on consumption, leading to a decrease in demand for goods and services. Another potential consequence of a big tech collapse, specifically with companies such as Google, Amazon, and Microsoft, would be an economic downturn. These companies are major contributors to economic growth, and their collapse could lead to a decrease in investment, innovation, and productivity. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are known for their state-of-the-art technologies and services, and their collapse could lead to a decrease in GDP and a decrease in the standard of living for many people, as these companies are widely used and relied upon by many individuals, businesses, and government organizations. Additionally, many other industries are dependent on these companies, such as the advertising industry, and their collapse could lead to a domino effect across different sectors, leading to an overall economic downturn. These companies are facing increasing troubles as they are facing criticisms from various angles. One major issue is censorship, as these companies are being accused of suppressing free speech and promoting a certain political agenda. This has led to a loss of trust among many users and a decrease in engagement on these platforms. Another major issue is the increased competition and the emergence of new rivals. TikTok is an example of Chinese company that have grown rapidly and are challenging the dominance of Silicon Valley big tech companies.
We're looking at TikTok. We may be banning TikTok.
Additionally, these companies are facing accusations of meddling in politics and influencing elections. These factors together have led to a decrease in trust and engagement among users and have led to increased scrutiny and regulation by governments. As a result, many Silicon Valley big tech companies are facing a decline in their revenues and profits and are struggling to maintain their market position. Silicon Valley big tech companies, including Google, Amazon, and Meta, have recently announced layoffs as a result of the ongoing economic downturn. Google, for example, announced that it would be laying off around 100 recruiters and closing its offices in several countries. Amazon, on the other hand, announced that it would be laying off around 6,000 corporate employees, mostly in its retail division. Meta, a virtual reality company, announced that it would be laying off around 100 employees, or about a third of its workforce. These layoffs are indicative of the economic challenges facing the tech industry, and they highlight the need for companies to adapt to the changing business environment. The tech industry has experienced tremendous growth and success in recent years, but there are signs of a looming crisis that could lead to an implosion of the big tech companies. One of the major factors contributing to this crisis is increased regulation and scrutiny of the tech industry by governments around the world. This has led to increased pressure on companies to address issues such as data privacy, competition, and disinformation. Another factor contributing to the crisis is the increasing public backlash against the tech industry, with many people becoming increasingly concerned about the negative impacts of technology on society. This has led to a growing demand for more ethical and responsible practices in the tech industry, which could further exacerbate the crisis if not addressed.